Good morning, y'all. Hold on, y'all. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna try to make it as quick as I can, cause I haven't gotten any sleep since I got off work. I'm gonna try to make this as quick as I can. I was trying to get my title together. I got it, so I'm gonna make it. I don't know how to be brief, so let's start this off by saying happy birthday and many more to come to a brother that's like a brother. I'll be nice and kind today again. This young man, he was my brother before he was ever family. What do I mean by that? Before he ever really seriously dated my cousin, we took to each other as so. I learned the lay of the land regarding to the area we stayed at and where we came from, the north. And his mother treated me like her own, allowed me to come to her house, share her space. When I spent the night over her house, going to school from her house from time to time, she's fed me like I was one of her children. She's given me motherly wisdom. She loved on me as one of her own. So I felt like I'm indebted to her by continuing to be on my best behavior. Mama Hammond, I love you. And everything you said about your boys, bad, good, or anything different, was correct. And you treated me as one of your sons as well. And I know for a fact that if I ever stepped out of line and did something, you'll be on my ass. I never wanted to disappoint you. I pride myself never to put myself in a position to where anything came back to you and you had to hear about it. So with that, I say, I love you. I miss you as well. And I couldn't bear to see you being sent off. But I know that everybody has their time and they gotta go. I found out at the last minute that you passed on. And my intentions was to be there. I don't have any regrets in regards to you, because how I felt about you, I never allow myself not to say it or show you how I felt about you every time we encountered, every time I was around you. And this leads on to the next thing I want to say. Earl, we know you affectionately as Earl, but we know your name on social media, the Lion. So, happy birthday, sir, and many more to come. Thank you for being like a big brother. how can I put this? Nah, I ain't gonna say this on her, but out of all those times you didn't cheat me out of games, you name it, hustle me, this, that, and the third, you taught me not to do it on why I shouldn't do it. I'll just say that. So, but for the most part, man, thank you for being you, fly, keep up with your kicks, and, basketball, love of basketball, so on and so forth. Being good to my cousin, when y'all was together. Everybody go through what they go through for the most part. But, man, thank you for always treating me like family. You and Ern, for that matter, as well as the rest of the Hammond family. But yeah, man. Thank you for allowing me to be an honorary brother. Before there was ever a relationship with my relative. We are relatives. As Jewels from Death Row would say. R.I.P. Jewels. But yeah, so let's get back to why I'm making this live. So I'm going into work. There's been a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Well, not really a lot, but I'm rarely bothered by a lot of stuff. I guess it's because some would say, in regards to my brother Keebalon would say about karma, and you know how some people go through a lot of stuff early on in their life, and some people start off with a good life, and then they end up with a bad life. So I was one of those people that was front loaded with a whole lot of bullshit in beginning portions of my life, right? And I've always been one to try to find the good in people, even if it was the person that made it hard for people to find good in them, right? I try to look at the positive out of it. And, over the years as I gotten older, sometimes I come to conclusions with certain individuals or certain circumstances behind closed doors at times where I feel like I'm just tired of taking a high road. Because I've always been the one to take the high road every damn time. Rather it be family members, friends, even companions from time to time. Where they can be wrong, and it's like either the way they come to me or just their actions, right? But you got to take the high road to see a better tomorrow, to make it to tomorrow, to get to bigger, better things, right? Not allowing yourself to get caught up in the small log jams or the small stuff of life. That stuff is very important, but you can't overemphasize it as far as focus on it in the negative to the point where it takes you away from your overall goal. Some people get so tedious about small stuff where they lose sight of the big picture very quickly because they allow themselves to be taken out their square with any little thing. So God has done it again. Why do I say that? A message came across my mental Rolodex last night unexpectedly. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I get a ping, or shall I say I get notifications. Or I think I was in the midst of searching for music as I'm working. So I have these Beat by Dre wireless headphones where I charge them up before I go to work and charge my phone before I go to work so I can listen to my music as I'm working. Sometimes, occasionally, listen to interviews that piques my interest, that I believe that could add to me in a fruitful, inspiring way. So I noticed I came across something that was very interesting and very refreshing and very unexpected. Why am I talking like this? I am a fan and I enjoy Drink Champs a lot. Why in the hell do they have, y'all like my Jordan hoodie? I got a black one just like this. I think I have a picture with La Zero on Helen long time ago with the black one. This is the white one. So anyway, I'm getting off the subject here. But why do I run across something that they have an interview with none other than Patti freaking Labelle? This is crazy. Craziness, crazy. And so I'm listening to Patti, and she said, she pointed out a few things, that she was 78 years young. And she's so vibrant and so full of life. And this woman still tours 11 months out of 12 months. And you got young people that don't like the fucking work, that has no drive, no ambition, no nothing. Here this is, a 78-year-old woman working like she 20 years old. And get this, she don't like taking vacations, meaning she don't like going places. She don't like water, she don't like sand, none of that. She's a homebody. She'd rather be at home. I mean, of course, you got to travel to tour, but as far as like vacationing, going out the country, doing that, she don't go out the country like that. I believe she said she was from Philly. She still stay in the hood. She still stay in Philly. Well, not in the hood, but I can imagine, but she still stay in Philly. Crazy. So the reason why this is in this right here, this live right here, I was moved to tears because it was some things that she said that struck me. Where she says, she speaks her truth. She's honest. She's a straight shooter. And like she said, a lot of time her mouth get her in trouble. But for the most part, she tries really hard, like she does with her. She said that she, for the most part, she believe in taking a high road. And when people go against you, talk down on you, block you, do anything that is countable, and I'm wording it and phrasing it in my own words, but anytime people are counterproductive against what you're trying to do in a positive way, as she put it, view it as a compliment. View it as a compliment. and don't respond basically don't respond in a negative way. Then it got me to thinking about all the times I wanted to fuck people up. All the times I wanted to curse their ass out and tell them about themselves when they needed to be told in that manner for themselves that I've taken the high road, or call themselves out, call them out to the degree that when I get through with you, we not gonna be cool. And to be quite honest, when I say this, a lot of times if I feel that way, it's because you don't deserve me in your presence to be cool with your ass because of the shit that has transpired that I've let slide. So just think about the shit that I've said to individuals in private, respectfully, and being courteous and being tactful, as they say. The word is tactful, being tactful. And you can call their ass out on shit you know that they don't think you know. You got receipts on individuals or circumstances that you may have done or had conversations that you experienced in your life that you can be like, voila. But you don't do it. So the moral of this is simply this. Patti said, you got to keep moving. It ain't no, I took from it that she was dropping a lot of life jewels and a lot of experiences. And I'm like that too. Like, I hate to say this, like, but I gotta say it. There are kids out there that don't have two parents in the household, right? I've talked to people close to me about this, and I don't try to say it in a way that it's offensive to them, like, you know, in such a way where, you know, you like they gotta feel a certain way because they got two parents in the household, so on and so forth. But I'll just say this. When you don't have two parents in the household to teach you certain things, and you're put in a position to where you have to learn these things on your own, you're built different. You're built different. And I've had to say this to someone I love. They know who they are. But when you used to people saying what they're going to do for you, and so on and so forth, and they never come through. For some of us that is in certain circumstances and built a certain way, we don't have people we can call and say, I need $1,000. I need $5,000. I'm getting put out. Or my house is flooded, da-da-da. And necessarily mean in some cases, some people ask, some people have too much pride to ask, right? And I'm saying these scenarios are extreme circumstances to give you a better picture of where I'm going with this. But the bottom line is, for some of us, we don't have that. And Patti was blessed enough to give us some jewels on this sucker, where she said, not even for herself, she had great parents. She kind of expounded on that, or Nori asked certain questions, expounded on that as far as where she get this attitude of just taking a high road and not, like, he said he did research on Patti and couldn't find a lot of negative stuff on her, or couldn't find no negative stuff. And he said it seems to him that everybody that knows her loves her. And then she talked about a few situations, but one in particular, Jasmine Sullivan, which is one of my favorite vocalists of this generation. She said that she always thought when she ran across Jasmine that Jasmine Sullivan did not like her, right? Because she never spoke, like she never had like she would always big her up, compliment her about her gift, so on and so forth. And Jasmine never reciprocated the same energy, like she was speechless, like she didn't talk, right? And come to find out, I'm giving you this game. I'm giving you this. But this is from the legendary great Patti, as she dropped this bomb. She had a stylist, someone that makes her suits, was friends with Jasmine Sullivan. They had the conversation, the person incidentally didn't know that Patti felt this way, right? Patti was heartbroken, whatever, and was feeling a way, in a bad way, like, dang, this person don't like me, and I love her, referring to Jasmine Sullivan. And she don't, basically I looked at it like she didn't know it, how much Patti loves her. So this individual that makes Patti Labelle suits is friends with Jasmine Sullivan. And this person was talking about how him and Jasmine Sullivan talks about Patti a lot, and so in high regard. And she responded to this person by saying that girl don't like me. Like, whenever we interact, like, this person never speaks to me, and I always give her, big her up, compliment her, this and the third. So that person gets Jasmine on the phone. Jasmine explains to hold on. She explains to, I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up because I experienced this before myself, so I can relate to what Patti was talking about. So Jasmine Sullivan gets on the phone and she explains to Patti Labelle that apparently the reason why I never said nothing to you is because I was shy. I didn't know what to say. And she said to Patti that you are my world. I am inspired by you. And you just don't know it. Now, think about that for a second. Now, remember how many times that you experience where people can be ignorant, people cannot say what they really feel, they just don't know how to communicate what's going on. And then you might take it in a negative spin. Patti said that was probably one of the least experienced. Like, she's had another one with someone where she didn't name the singer, that their mother was like in awe of her, loving on her, whatever. They was loving on, talking, great stuff. And her daughter wasn't too thrilled. This was a singer. And she said, like, flat out, she was like, look, that's not somebody I would want to be a friend with. And she spoke on how people put out stuff about her and Aretha Franklin. And she said she did a rendition of Aretha's song. And Aretha told her, you did okay, you did all right. Like, after it was done, she had requested for her to have a seat with her. This is at the Kennedy Ball at the White House. And her and Aretha Franklin was there. And she said how much she loved Aretha Franklin. And she was her inspiration. It ain't nothing wrong with giving people their flowers. It's not nothing wrong to say, if God didn't give you in certain areas and you have a friend or a companion or a loved one that might even be better than you in certain circumstances, you don't have to hate, man. You don't. Why is that? Because, and this has always been my rule of thumb, if I ever got to a certain place where I was wealthy financially, because I believe that I'm wealthy as in wisdom and knowledge, and I'm still learning, and that's the cool thing about still remaining alive, still going, taking a trail, blazing the trail, still getting up, pounding the pavement, still finding things, nuances of new things in regards to life to keep you inspired, to keep you, keep your spirit burning, to keep your will power up. If you ever saw a correlation of DC's Green Lantern, they have power rings, green power rings. How they power their rings is from a Green Lantern. The power that they get is from will. W-I-L-L. Willpower. Yes. Every lantern core is different. The green, for them, according to the comic books, I'm getting the nerdy thing going on right now, but it's all correlation to the message that I'm inspired to say right now. I believe God led me to speak this morning. I wanted to just let it go while it's still heavy. So that's why I'm getting choked up, because it's heavy. So each lantern core has a ring. The Green Lanterns have their power is inspired. It comes from the lantern of will. Basically, willpower fuels the Green Lantern. Lantern in their rings. Once they lose their will, their rings as well as the lantern is not as powerful. They have a yellow lantern core, which is fear. It's fueled by fear. The lantern of fear, believe it or not. So I can go on and on and on, but I wanted to put that in there for a reason. So Patty's will is what a lot of these women in particular need to listen, need to understand what she's spilling. It is necessary. It is nurturing. It is inspiring to watch. Man. She hit on a lot of stuff that needs to be talked about more often. And salute to Nori, because I'm going to tell you, even he said he was scared and he didn't believe that he was going to get Patti on Drink Champs. Here's the crazy thing. I'm assuming that the person that she's connected to, reference to Charlie, might be Charlie Mack, which is the same manager of Will Smith since he started. He's from Philly. And then also Meek Mill as well used to be with Charlie Mack. But they had some disagreements where they split, and there was a whole lot of funny stuff with Charlie Mack because he had a relationship with the judge that's presiding over Meek Mill's mistreatment of the law in regards to Philly and his probation and all that type of stuff. Charlie Mack was tied to the lady. So that came out later. So anyway, they had some disagreement in regards to business practices. So, but that's a whole different conversation for a whole nother day. So, what I took from it is a simple reflection or evaluation in regards to myself and how I deal with certain individuals that may have crossed me or disrespected me or didn't believe when you stand for something. How can I put this? Oh yeah. Okay, so I'll take it a step further. So she said something. Her and Nori started to talk about, did she feel, I guess it was something about her being like some people might be intimidated. In the instance of the story she said about this individual not being a good friend, and their mother was kind to her and loving on her and, you know, enjoy being around the person in particular that they referencing, the mother, that's the daughter of the mother. I'm assuming she's a singer too, or she's in the music space. She was very put off or mean or very put offish in regarding to Patti. Patti was not pleased, and she said she didn't want to get a person energy, or she could just say that because the person might be a big name where it might ruffle some feathers or get her shut down. Now that could be it too. So you can look at it any type of way. The only person I can think of is Beyonce. But I digress. So I'm not assuming anything. She didn't say who it was. I'm just my opinion. So Nori asked her in regards to, you know, maybe the person might have been intimidated or threatened, right? And she's like, she went on to say in regards to addressing it, the threatened part of being intimidated, where you got people can be threatened or intimidated by you. And she said that I don't see why they would, because like, you know, basically Patty's positive. She come in love. She ain't never tried to talk bad down on nobody or nothing like that, but she gonna keep it real. So what I took from that is, like she said, like, she's one of those type of people where I think Nori was like, she's like an angel giving her flowers, and she's like, she's like a teacher through her experiences. And then she said that she's always been one of those type of people that's willing to give the information, like tell you about what's going on, about the business, little nuanced stuff, so you can avoid it because I went through it, right? And like myself, it's certain things that I do want to continue to build on, where I can give people information that on stuff that I may have experienced to help them, right? I've always been that type of person. Like, I've always been the type of person that, if I hit the lottery or I come into a certain amount of money, I honestly can visually see myself being on a yacht with my closest friends, with their lady friends, and just living it up and just having a good time. So much so that I have the financial means to give them all money, a certain amount of money, and clear up their credit, allow them to be in a certain space where they can start their own business, or put themselves in a circumstance to where you ain't got to work again. If you work, it's because you choose to work for yourself, possibly to the point where you don't have to answer to nobody. You paid your own ticket. You made your own bones. Now, some can say, well, they didn't make their own bones because you the reason that that made it happen. Well, I say, as they say on Spider-Man, one with great power comes with great responsibility. So much so, I would say that if I make it, you make it. Now, don't get it twisted. Don't feel so entitled that just because I'm within arm's length close to you that I owe you anything. If I do it, it's God led. God led me to do it. Not because anybody else in the matter. When I do stuff, it has nothing to do with somebody else. It has something to do with me. And me praying about it, thinking it through, and just moving. Without, a lot of times, again, I done got myself in trouble about moving on certain circumstances that God may have led me to do. But speaking too soon and just seeing it through and just doing it. Right? So, Patti, overall, the message was taking the high road. But I tell you, as a person that believes that, it's hard. It's very hard to always take the high road with ignorant motherfuckers, man. Disregarding motherfuckers. Selfish motherfuckers. You put your neck out for people, and at times, only thing they can think of or they can see from time to time, majority, is themselves. And they think about what they can get out of every situation. Sometimes it ain't about what you getting out of it. A lot of times it's the relationships that you forge. Also, I took from it. But I knew this, but it was like a lot of the stuff that she said, I have experienced it in my own way, not in a large scale such as herself, with all the living that she has experienced, the fame, the accolades, and so on and so forth. I'm not even there, but I'm saying that the sense just living life, right? Man, you're going to have people in your life you love to death, man. But they do stupid shit. They say stupid shit. And a lot of times you put yourself in a position where your name, some people know them because of you. And they might do shit, stupid shit. And it's not well thought out. And they don't consider all the people that they affect when they do shit. It can be the most simplest thing, or it can be the most biggest thing. They don't care. Long as they get what they gonna get up out of it. That's all they care about. And sometimes, eventually, at some point in time, that's gonna run its course eventually. Where it's gonna come to the point where either they're gonna X themselves out, or you're gonna X them out. Cause they have outgrew their britches. They have done too much. They doing a lot. And then you got some people that's, like Patti put it, after Nori said, it don't seem like it's nobody that don't love you or hate on you. And she's like, you sure about that? Like, I mean, if that's, I've never really experienced that openly as far as a hate. She later on speaks upon expound about her relationship with Diana Ross, but they since then buried the hatchet. But the message is real down to earth and real. It hits home. For me, it hits home because, again, some people put, and she said this too, where she referenced Gladys Knight, her relationship with Gladys Knight, like they are real friends. They ain't pretend friends. I read between the lines with that. That you got some people that pretend to be your friend. Right? Because of what you have to offer them. But once that runs out, and here's the funny thing about it, right? I've continued to be friends with certain individuals, even when they cross me and I may have not pulled their card about it, but it's not at a point where it does irreparable damage or any damage at all, but just knowing that I know, I have to say I do treat them different once I'm in the know about it. Sometimes you keep things, if it's a business relationship, sometimes you just keep it business and that be that. With some people, you deal with it like, you got love for them, especially if you got a lot of history with them. It's hard because you got history, and that's probably the only reason why you didn't cut them off and you love them. Because if you didn't have those two things, and it's strong, then you probably would have cut them off. And Patti taking a high road, you rarely find people that takes a high road all the time and they not reactive. They know how to properly respond. And that's one thing I've been told from my OGs, that Never, when you going through stuff and you dealing with certain circumstances or certain individuals, never be the one to allow things to get to you that you are so reactionary. Learn how to respond. Never, as my cousin Fatty, rest in peace, would say, don't allow situations or individuals to rent space in your mind. Don't do it. And she's saying it in her own way too. Don't allow, that negative stuff to fester. And she said, like with Jasmine Sullivan, as far as the miscommunication concerned, she confronts it. I've always been one of those types. Now, you have to pick and choose. I believe that you have to pick and choose your battles. Because some things are not worth confronting. Some things you have to allow to just play out. To allow that individual in particular to fall on their face. Because even if you confront them and call them out and you have all the evidence, it's still don't solve. Certain things is still gonna be unresolved until that person is willing to come to a place like yourself to want to resolve it, be willing and open to resolve. Some people love conflict. Some people love, having so much to say. Even right, they might have some good points, but it's the delivery that often gets, allows them to not have as much strength in regarding to them being in the right. As I would say, I'll say this lightly. You can be right, but the way you handle it can make you wrong. Person can steal from you, cheat with your guy or gal, but the way you handle it can make you wrong. If you kill them, you in the wrong. Then now people ain't so focused on the fact that this person that may have been close to you or that you love cheated on with your companion. Their attention would be stirred away from that to the fact that you took their life. Right? So now the spotlight is not on them anymore. It's more or less on you. See how you turned that into a situation that's bigger than what it should be. Even in that, how extreme I just explained that, is how quickly a turn of events can be if you allow yourself to be taken for a ride, taken up out of your element because people around you is out of their element. And they trying to take you out of your square because they out of theirs. And you in control of your square. They're not. As far as your consciousness and the way you think, the way you move, your affairs, all that good stuff. And I think that, like for me in this stage in my life, I realize even older people that's older, much older than me, has not accomplished certain things that I haven't accomplished. That don't mean I look down on them or mistreat them a certain way. I just realize I can still learn something from them, even if it's certain things that they may not be where I'm at with, even with them having time on their hands as far as life, right? You can live a long life but don't experience everything. It's certain things that I might experience they didn't, right? But they live a long life where it's a lot that they have experienced that I may have not had because I haven't lived long enough to see, right? But it might be some things that they might have missed out on that I didn't miss out on and may have caught earlier and had the pleasure to enjoy when they didn't because of their decision making wasn't the best at certain points in their life where they missed out on certain things because of their buffoonery. So you don't have to dig a ditch for someone that comes against you that might be envious or jealous, threatened, intimidated by you. They'll dig their own ditch. The problem that they're going to have with you is the fact that you ain't too up in arms about it and you still continuing to live life. You can feel the way, even a good person can feel feel a certain way about certain individuals on how they move with them per se. Even if they moved on with somebody else, so on and so forth, or rock with a different circle where your circle or y'all circle that y'all once had don't rock with each other, whatever's the case, right? As much or at all, right? You ain't gotta wish them bad. You can still wish them good even if they don't wish you good. Even though you know them in essence. They may have told you flat out, hey, if we stop talking, I can't deal with you being with nobody else, right? I'm sure we all had that person or several. And they behavior has showed such and their behavior continue to show such even with you not being associated with them anymore, right? So it's a safe bet that they probably still feel that way. And a lot of times people ain't gotta always say what they don't feel about you, what they don't like about you. Their actions will show it. And what I had to learn that stop waiting on people to tell you what they feel about you because their actions, their body language have already told you. So accept it for what it is and move on. And that's okay. You still got to be you. You still got to do you. And don't allow yourself to get lost in the sauce. Because they lost in the sauce don't mean you got to be lost in the sauce. Still pray for them. Even your enemy. You know, God can use an enemy as a footstool. He's done it many times for me. So, even if they was mad about it, there's been situations where I always believe that God, when God tried to test you to move you to a different level in your life, right? If you continue to fail and you don't lose and you don't learn the lesson, you're going to keep going through until you learn that lesson to move on to the next lesson. It's like school. Life is like the classroom, like school, and you the student. And life is teaching you through experience. So if you keep on trying to fit a square peg in a round circle space and never figure out that this doesn't work, you're going to still be stuck there trying to figure it out when the answer has always been in front of you. Nori said something that was profound. Somebody famous said something along the lines of, they looked at, people saw them as a giant. When they look in the mirror, they see nothing. He says he wasn't trying to refer to Patti LaBelle not seeing nothing when she look in the mirror, because she knows who she is, and it basically had nothing to do with knowing who she is. He was more in tune or in awe or marvel the fact that she's so humble. I believe I'm a very humble person. I can talk my shit, joke around. I never been braggadocious about what I have or what I've done and what I'm about to do. I never been like that. I try to word it or express it in such a way to let people know what God is capable of, what the universe is capable of working through me, as it worked through me. And try to be a good example for those that might notice me from afar and might keep a watchful eye. Even those that might keep a watchful eye from a hating point of view. Because, haters are watching too. Just like people that's inspired, you got people that's inspired by hate as well. Like, some people can be inspired in a good way. That, okay, I can do it too. If this person can do it, I can do it too. And then you got people that can be inspired by hate. So either way it go, you got people that admire you from afar in a good way, and you got people that just admire you from a hating aspect and want to see you fall. And that's okay too. And I'm just saying that like one of my new cuts that I've been listening to, that's kind of taking me to another place and just keeping my competitive juices going. Killer Mike got a new song. I think it's called Run. And it's got Slim Thug. It's got not Slim Thug, I'm tripping. Young Thug on it, coincidentally. He must have made this song probably before he got locked up. But it's Young Thug, Dave Chappelle on it. Dope. Look it up on YouTube. It's fire. But he said some things even in there. It's like, man, you gotta run. You gotta keep going. Even Dave Chappelle said in his monologue in the song, he's like, man, sometimes some people fall. If you haven't fallen yet and you still have your feet under you, keep going. Basically run, keep going. Right? Keep running the race. Basically, that's what I interpreted from it. It's no different with Patti on another flip from her perspective. Keep going, keep moving. Jill Scott, same thing. Keep on going forward, keep moving. And don't let nobody stop you on what you trying to do and even your own people, even your own family, even your companion. And I say this to say that, hey, and it's not, it ain't nothing in particular to nobody. And I'm just saying in an overall rule, like past situations you may have been with where you've had certain individuals that you may have been companions with, they is so negative or always find the bad in everything and everybody, every little thing that deters them. They'll use that and keep using it when there's no excuse for it. It's not a life or death situation, or even a big financial situation. Like, it can be fixed with a phone call. It can be fixed on how you go about it, talking to the person or having a conversation, and that way you can get a better response that way versus you being negative, right? And that's one thing about me. Like, okay, if somebody do something wrong, you have a conversation with them. Try to resolve it first. If it get to a point where you can't resolve it, now you can't say that it's impossible to resolve it if you have an attempt to solve it. What do I mean by that? If you don't communicate with the person that, hey, you doing wrong, or, hey, I looked at this is not right to me. How can we resolve this? How can we fix this? Give them the opportunity to fix it or resolve it. They don't know that they might do you harm. I'm just saying. Everybody might be in the room might know this, except that person that needs to be addressed. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And even with this Patti Labelle thing, she said the exact same thing in her own way. Because even with the Jasmine Sullivan thing, right? If they never talked, she would have always believed that girl didn't like her. Or she did something wrong for her not to speak to her. And in reality, she never did nothing wrong. The girl was just shy. But she wouldn't have knew that if they wouldn't have had a conversation. A respectful conversation at that. Now, Patti could have flipped out on the gal, went off on her if she was the type of person, not knowing the reason why. So a lot of people is just different. When they do certain things, or, congregate about certain people, sometimes I always believe that when people get mad at you so easily, it's usually because of something else. Like, they might be teed off about something else in regards to that person, or indirectly about something else that has nothing to do with the person. The person was just catching the weight of it. Some people, I done had people get mad at me and tell me years later, not really be mad at me, but be around me, have said things, look, snipey stuff, not understanding, not catching it, later on tell me that they was jealous of me because that I was able to make friends. Somebody close to me, I love them to death, was jealous of me because I was able to make friends without buying them, because of who I was, and I didn't have the best things, and this individual did. They had the world and still could have it, but because of their decisions played a part in them not having it like they should. I digress. They know this. We talked about it over the years or whatever, whatnot. And for real, some things remain that don't have to be said. They know it because of the way they talking to you and expressing to you and open and confiding. And they realize that they was wrong. And then they realize that you are a much better ally, much better friend that they anticipated, because you could have cut them off. You could have did some things to them that not many people did, that could have did to them, because you was privy to information, or you was just as close to them as their own family, if not closest to them than their family, to where you could have hurt them, but you didn't. So keep this in mind when you decide to come at good people for no reason. God does not allow that to be. When you come across people that's chosen as good people, and they are good to you and don't have a care in the world and will bend over backwards for you, give you the shirt off their back, wouldn't harm a fly, intentionally. Don't get it twisted, thinking that they ain't capable of fucking you up. Don't get it twisted to ever think that they can't get at you in a grimy way. Because the devil in nature, we all have sin. But we may have not sinned in certain areas because of the will of God. Because we made a conscious choice not to. Not because we ain't capable of. We can be capable of anything, even the most heinous thing. Anybody can be capable of the most heinous thing, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that they will do it. You know, person cannot rape nobody. A person cannot kill nobody. You know, play with kids, whatever. They can never do that. It doesn't mean that people are not capable of doing things, is what I'm saying. I'm talking more extreme. But just because they didn't do it, don't mean that anybody can't be capable of doing it. But you would be stupid to do it. But here's the thing. Like I'm saying, my point is, we're not perfect. People ain't perfect. Right? You're going to have people that's capable of doing these things and choose to act on it. And then you have people that's capable of doing things and choose not to because of their moral compass, right? So in certain aspects, again, some people get disrespectful, they get out of pocket, they have a disregard for disrespecting the elders, and they can be elders themselves, but expect a certain level of respect for themselves that they not willing to give others, or grace, or consideration to others that they giving in consideration, or they not moving in the same energy. And at some point in time, people gonna remove them from their circle because of their behavior. Because it's gonna get to a point where it's gonna get played out, and it becomes a broken record. It becomes a fucking excuse. It's an excuse. If you know that you don't like doing certain things, or let's say you at a place where you're getting tired, come out and say that. If you don't want to do something, come out and say that. Communicate. Because everybody's time is precious, just like yours. Everybody's feelings that should be considered in consideration, just like yours. You ain't no different than me. You ain't overly special than me. Just because a skin color or wealth status, you can lose your money just like I can lose mine. You can be in a poorhouse just like me. Events can change that way if God allow it to be. So don't never think that you beyond reproach, because you're not. Neither am I. So it's always good to treat people with kindness, even if they don't fucking deserve it. Because there's a lot of people that don't deserve a pass. They get one is because of the character of the person that they coming against. They either getting the pass from that individual directly, or getting a pass from somebody that loves them, that's willing to go to the ends of the earth for them on your ass. And the only reason why they don't do it is because of the person that you coming against. So don't get it twisted. Just because a person take the high road don't mean that they can't spin the block. Don't mean either they can't spin. If they can't spin it, it's not because they not capable of. It's because they don't choose to spin. But they got people that love them enough that they will spin. And all they got to do is say the word. In some cases, people is ready, is all on go mode, trained to go. You know, TTG or whatever, trained to go. They ready to get you. So trust me, it's so many times I can say I didn't mess with individuals and they didn't say certain things and people around them doing a lot of stuff, being heavy, people they didn't, just encourage to talk heavy, and it's like they take it like, you might be soft spoken, you might not be soft spoken, you might be loud as far as your personality, joking or talk loud, or your voice might carry, not in a way of you being in a mean spirited way, just for me, like you excited about a subject matter. Just because they don't see you doing bad stuff, see you being aggressive or being overly masculine or whatever you want to call it, like you're not capable to get in somebody's ass. That ain't true. Because like the OGs say now, that's much more prevalent. The guy that you need to worry about is the one that fears you, that is scared of you, because they will take your life if they feel intimidated or scared by you enough to the point that they feel like you want to take theirs or get overbearing where they know that they can't win. Them be the ones, that's the cowards, that'll take you out because they're intimidated by you. They jealous. Just think about Dolph. Think about Nip. So on and so forth. A lot of these rappers in particular. Now granted, it doesn't help with certain ones where they overly braggadocious, but you got some that's making empty statements that they never lived. And people that have lived that and experienced that and has made it through, will be offended, because it's like, dude, you never lived that life. Why is you talking like that, right? And you making money off of our pain and our experience, life experiences, when you haven't experienced that, right? But you got some people that's willing to make money, use you because of your experiences, or take your life force, because they have ruined theirs. That's another thing too. That's why it is important, or I have to be reminded. And this was the overall take that I took from it. Like, it reminded me of giving me an answer. God had used her to remind me to keep going, to remind me to keep moving, and I'm going in the right direction. Even though sometimes it don't seem that way, or it's not giving me or giving us, and this could apply to all of us, giving us the results that we're looking for in a timely manner. Some things take time, just like a flower when it blooms. It don't grow overnight. Is a maturary, if I'm saying this correctly, I might be butchering up the word. It's a maturary process. It's a process that it takes for that flower to go. It's certain stages, certain levels it has to get to before it blossom and bloom. Same thing for a butterfly. A caterpillar becoming a butterfly. There's levels to this. Life is no different. So with that being said, God is still dealing. So I'm saying this to say, for those that often take the high road, it's a lonely road, man, at the top. As Patti said, me taking the high road and me viewing it from a perspective of viewing it as a compliment. At the end, as she put it, I'm going to be at the top. Be who you are. Be you. At least your most authentic self. Not a fake or a fraud. Don't try to put yourself in a situation where you're trying to put on the front to appease people. Be who you are. Continue to be who you are. And if you lose some people along the way, then so fucking be it. Because they didn't deserve your presence and what you had to bring to the table any goddamn way. How about that? Because all they doing is doing themselves a disservice. They weren't worthy of you any damn way. And that was God's way of removing them. Rather if they remove themselves or you do it. Either way it go, it was all in God's design. That eventually they was basically exposing themselves to you. For you to realize that they wasn't good. Because some people can be secretly in competition with you. And I've learned that I've seen this more and more often. With people that I admire from afar, but myself first. That people can be secretly in competition with you, and you're not even in competition with them. You know, you can be secretly in competition with people that's close to you, your loved ones sometimes, or previous companions. Yeah, or companions, period. Yeah, in some cases, yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, and it's like, you do realize that everything that that's going positive with me is going to benefit you too, right? If you're close to me, even if you're not the one experiencing it, right? You standing next to me where you can visually see it and be inspired. But you view the inspiration like, well, God blessed him and he didn't bless me. What's wrong with me? Why gotta be something wrong with you? It may not be your time yet. It might be my time. Just like it might be your time and not be my time yet. For whatever. Like, I'm just using an example. I have friends that's blessed enough to find their wives, right? I didn't get mine. I wasn't mad. But I wasn't in a place to get married either. But I wasn't mad. Why would I be mad at them? I'm happy for them. If they happy, I'm happy. If they ain't happy, then I ain't happy. If somebody doing them wrong. Nah, I ain't gonna be cool with it. Right? I get mad. Why you can't just be happy for me? I've been holding you up. But I mean, thus far, I've never had nobody publicly come against me in regards to that. But thank God I never had to experience that so far. But you have certain circumstances, man. People are secretly plotting your downfall. And this ain't no, oh, everybody got to be hating. No, everybody ain't hating. Some people that might say something to you might be sincerely concerned about your well-being, but you know the difference. If God give you discernment, you know the difference between somebody being sincerely concerned about your behavior and the direction that you're going in your life versus you know, like, it's nothing that you doing wrong, and you doing all the right things, and you pressing all the right buttons, and people just talking negative just to talk. Not that I'm experienced this now, but yeah, I've heard stuff. I've heard, not that I'm not going on here with that, but yeah, somebody really close to me have brought to my attention that people dear to me is not happy. Like either they wasn't included in certain circumstances or wasn't there. Now here's the kicker. Few of the people that have been brought to my attention in regardless to this was invited. They didn't show up. One in particular, we don't speak because of them, or don't speak as much because of them. I digress. So it's one of those things where it's like, if that's the case, and this person that brought this to my attention didn't name names, but I can read between the lines. Why? Because I've had conversations with all the people that the players is involved in regards to my experiences one-on-one, where, as Patti put it, confronted. And at the time, I didn't know we would ever have any problems with a few people, but we had problems in regards to somebody close to me that I had to address them about with a few. And the other one in particular, the problems lie on their doorstep as far as us not being in communication. Because my door has always been open. I've never been the type person, even when people cross me, right, my number haven't changed. So if you felt any type of way, all you had to do was give me a call and we can talk about it. If you want to meet up, we can do that too. If we ain't been talking in a while, I don't suggest that you pop up at my house unannounced. I think a call would be sufficient first, and then we'll work our way back to that. Because I look at it like, well, if you didn't have no intentions on trying to make it right all this time for years or whatever or whatnot, it's like, man, I ain't finna keep putting myself out there for you to keep being flaky, being on and off as far as our relationship. I don't have time for that. Like, God taking me in certain places, certain directions, and I'm realizing more and more it's not that the fact that you say, well, I don't need you, but it's like, I don't need what comes with you. And if that means I disassociate myself from you, then so be it. But it's like, hey, it took me a while to get to that point to realize that letting people go or saying no to people is okay. It's not the end of the world. I used to think it was, because I'm trying to be good and take the high road and be the happy camper and get along to get along. I'm tired of that. I've been tired of it, because it's like sometimes you be in situations where you get along to get along with everybody, with people that has no intentions on resolving the issue or whatever misunderstanding you may have with them. They don't have no intent on resolving it. They have every intention to keep it going or rekindling it, relitting the fire of why y'all fell out, why y'all don't talk, or there is nobody has time for that. Life is too short. And again, I'm reminded of this as I'm listening to Patti talk and her saying, I've been here for 78 years. and I'm looking forward to live another 78 years. How do you accomplish that? And I've had this conversation before. Some people ask me, well, you don't look the age that you say you are. Some view me as I dress like a thundercat, a young cat. That ain't my intentions, but I like certain stuff. I'm in tune with certain stuff because I'm a lover of music. I'm a lover of fashion. So there's certain things that I like, and I work hard enough. So if I like it enough, I'm going to get it. If it's too expensive, I'll wait until I get enough money to get it, that I would eventually get it. Or I'm a financial means to where I'm able to get it and it not hurt me from handling my responsibilities first, right? Living beyond my means. Follow me? And we all have made mistakes where we kind of went overboard with the credit card, so on and so forth. Or maybe not overboard with the credit cards. Spending money that we may have not had. We may have needed to use it for something else. Going out too much, stuff like that. So, or for some of y'all going to strip clubs, spending all that money, you know what I mean. For some of you fellas, females now too. Wow. Well, you know what I mean. So, yeah. So in essence, man, stop living for other people, man. And I'm saying this to say, because this goes to me first. Live for you. And something I posted too, in regards to this whole thing of where the lady, I posted something, y'all should check it out, where she was talking about the statement of the happy wife, happy life situation. I honestly, I cringe, and actually in some cases I get irritated when people say that, as if the man happiness don't matter. It comes across like the woman's happiness is the only thing that matters in a relationship. That's what it comes off. I don't like it. I'm being honest. I never liked it for years. I'm keeping it real. I don't like that shit. I've always been one to try to look at it from both sides of the coin, not a one-way street thing. Even when it comes to scripture, when we talking about the man being head of the household, I like to expound. Or, it's like a woman could just have as much say in a household as a man do. Sure, you would want the man to lead, right? But some people interpret a man leading in a household as if that's automatically supposed to be bestowed on you, if I'm saying that correctly, without it being earned. But here's the thing. The woman wants to be happy. A man wants a man to make her happy. I think you should change the messaging, because for far too long, I feel like we've been programmed to think, as far as the ladies concerned, from their perspective, happy wife, happy life. First, before you even get to that point, you have to learn how to be you as a woman. You got to learn, and that who responsible for that? Not the man. You. As well as your happiness. This whole idea of putting your happiness in somebody else's hands is ridiculous. It's your responsibility to make you happy, to know who you are and what things to make you tick first. You can express your likes and dislikes to your companion. In essence, all they doing and all they there for, really, or should be for, is to add to you, not subtract, and not to do the work for you. Because you have to work too. It's not the man's responsibility to work and be the only one in it working. you have to work too. It's some things that you got to work to get him too. When it's this idea that, okay, it comes off like, okay, a man got to court or approach the woman. Okay, fine. Whatever floats your boat, right? Don't think for a second, especially for a man that has his affairs together before meeting their significant other, before a woman's input or influence, so to speak. If he continue to maintain that before you, what make you think he can't contain it after you if things don't work out? So don't get it twisted, or don't get too caught up in your egotistical mind or your view of entitlement. And I'm saying for some, not all women, but you got some out there that feel like a dude can't function without them. That's bullshit. And the same thing can be said with a man. Don't get so caught up in your egotistical mind that you feel like you can buy her just because you have the financial means to do so. Because just like she found you, she can find somebody else. And the same thing can be said with the man. Just like his physical gifts or his prowess drew you, it's other people that's drawn to him too. Only thing is, if he's a good man and a faithful man, a godly man, is because his willpower, his essence, his being of being him, will not allow him, let alone stand him, allow him to stand for buffoonery. So in essence, he will not put himself in a position to where he has to answer for his mistakes or missteps. People gonna have missteps if we put, I'm just using an example, it doesn't relate to anything. It's like somebody washing a car. They dry the car off, forget to dry the damn one of the windows or a couple of windows. That's a misstep. That, you know, that can be fixed. But then you got certain things that you can't come back from. And some people hold that over your head forever. And the way I look at it is, certain things is like, it's because of them. It might be certain personal hurts that they may have went through, and they just real extreme to the point where they feel like they're not capable of doing anything wrong. And this perfect imagery is not a perfect world. You know, no relationship is perfect. And just because you don't cheat and lie doesn't mean that you're a good person. Just because you cheat and lie from time to time doesn't make you a bad person. Maybe you don't know no better. Maybe you know better, you just don't want to do better. And maybe you haven't met the person to put you in your place and put things in proper perspective to give you the motivation or the got you moment, or God may have used them to work some things out of you. Might use them as a tool to get you where you need to go. And they might have put up with you, and I do say put up, especially if you on some buffoonery, to the point where they could have did, like, I go back to what I just said about the receipts and about things that they know about you personally before you became the person that you are today in a good light, where they could have pushed the button on you and they didn't. And this can play a part in the fact of you getting it right. So Patti, I salute you and thank you for the gems. And for all of the elders that have died and passed on, that have left us beautiful memories, took the time out, to those that would have a willing ear to listen and to take in and use the wisdom and knowledge that they bestowed on us. It is priceless. It is wealth beyond repair, man. Wisdom is wealth. Health is wealth. Not just currency. Dollars. You know, wisdom and health can be just as worth as the American dollar as we know it. Go figure. Love is powerful. Love can be a tool to be used for good. Love can be used as a tool for bad. Some people can manipulate your love and kindness to bend at their will in the most nastiest, manipulating way that you can imagine. People can use that and overstep their bounds and don't care. Why? Because they're getting what they want. Until that person realizes that not only this person don't have the best interests or best intentions for them, but also they never had any intentions on reciprocating the same in return that they have been given. So at some point in time, you got to make a choice about certain people in certain environments. You got to make a choice. And I've been down this road before with people close to me, rather be former companions, you name it, jobs, co-workers, family members, associates, so on and so forth. It's some hard decisions, but somebody got to do it. You cannot go on a journey with 100-pound gorilla on your back. You got to get that motherfucker off your back, man, in order for you to move a little faster, move a little, pace yourself, or reserve energy for the next task. Because some people, spirit weighs a ton, and it can be overwhelming. And it can be to a point where it can be a hostile environment, intense environment. It can be, it's capable of being violent, or it can go left at any point. Free. It's freedom time, as Lauryn Hill say. Let it be known. Let it go. If you need to. Or simply say no. If it's somebody that you love, it's not so easy to let go. It can be your mother, it can be your father, somebody really, really close where you ain't got no choice but to deal with them, because you got a choice. But when it's like that, on that level, like let's say if it's a parent, it ain't like it's a friend, or it ain't like it's an associate or somebody you don't deal with that often, where it's easy for them to cut off. But when it's somebody really, really close, where they can pose a threat to you because of what they know about you. And it ain't got to be something they know about you in a negative light. Like, they know where you stay, they know where you work, they know, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They know a lot enough to where they can get, reach out to you or do you or somebody close to you harm, if that's the case. Not suggesting that goes to that extreme, but you got some people be on that type of time, and you may not be on that type of time, you know? But yeah, man, don't let nobody steal your joy, man. As Patti would say, keep moving. You know who you are. And, you know, for me, stay inspired. Stay driven. Surround yourself around people, like-minded people that loves on you as you love on them on the level that you do. Because sometimes, often, we have people we allow to stay around. And like I said, they may have said things in the past that you may have kind of let go, because it's like, you know, you ain't tripping. You don't let certain things come between y'all. But they might have certain things about themselves that they would allow to come between them, where it be females. Some people pillow talk with females to get them and talk bad about you to them, and it'll get back to you. A whole lot of stuff. Same thing with females. Same thing where they friends might be talking bad about them to the wrong person, not realizing that person might be an ally to you, and they get back to you. And you can be hurt by the fact that, damn, you know, to hear that this person talking bad about you, as much as you've been good to them, and certain circumstances might be said out of context where they don't really give no context, where you might do something or you might have did something that might be considered to be uncharacteristic of yourself. But let's say you may lost somebody, and you might experiment on certain things here and there. It might be drinking, it might be, for some people, it might be drugs, or it might be they might go out and gamble every now and again. But since their partner died or whatever, they might used to go out to the casinos and gamble every now and again with their partner. Now they got to the point where they didn't ruin their life. You know, this might be their business partner. They might ruin their life to the point where they overly party. They might party with a certain person. They overly doing stuff that they would normally do at bare minimum, to the point where it's ruining their life. It's affecting their day-to-day. They affecting the loved ones around them, because they doing stuff uncharacteristic to their personality. It can happen. But people can use that to say, aha, look at this. They ain't got nothing else. But they can use that snapshot moment without any context, or giving any context to the person that they might be trying to tell it to about you. Not realizing, again, they might be secretly, you don't want to accept it. And I've been in those situations where people have came to me about individuals that may have said stuff negative about me, right? Never said the shit in my face. And these are people that I consider close. I look at like family. That's not related, blood related. Some are blood related, some are not. But people have came to me and said X, Y, Z. And in some cases, I never even said anything about it, but I know. And I know how they truly feel about me. But I never carry myself, you know, to allow it to get to me to respond in kind, in the same energy. I always speak, if they speak to me, and I used to speak to people even when they didn't speak to me, right? But I gotten to the point, as I've gotten older, I'm not a rude individual. But if a person, because this happened to me recently, by the way, somebody I got history with, I saw them in public. They know who they are. So I saw them in public, and I guess they was with, I would assume, they significant other. I ain't think nothing of it. I can't say how long it's been. I won't say how long this or when it happened. But I just say that I had a situation where I seen a person in public. I saw them by themselves, and then soon after somebody else appeared right behind them. But anyway, I spoke to them, and they didn't speak back, right? So I'm the type of person that, you know how some people are, like when they with somebody, if they not with their individual and they significant other, right? They be all up in your face speaking to you, right? They ain't gotta necessarily be all up in your face, but they'll speak to you. But when they with a certain individual, they won't, or they'll act like they don't know you. My thing is, if you do stuff like that, that means, which I know that this person in particular is capable of doing stuff because I know personally, they get down. They capable of doing stuff that they ain't supposed to do, right? And I look at it like you got something to hide. Because I feel like, just like I can speak to you if I'm not with my significant other, I also can speak to you when they present. And even go as far as to say, hey, this is my wife, or this is my lady, this is such and such. Because if that person speak to me while I'm with somebody, I ain't gonna just blow them off like I don't know them. Because obviously the person I'm with gonna question me like, damn, old girl gotta know you. She know your name. Who is that? See? But you could have quelled that by saying, hey, what's going on? How you doing? How everybody is? How the family? Oh, by the way, this is my wife. That's such and such. And then you can have a conversation away from them with your significant other, somebody I had history with, whatever. Person spoke to you, you spoke back. And when it's for us to introduce, to let them know, acknowledging the person is with me. Because you know how sometimes people see you in public and they don't acknowledge the person that you with. Rather, if that's a person that you rocking with as far as a companion, or it can be a family member, it can be another friend. They can be that rude where they just talking to you and not addressing everybody around you. Because I think that's proper etiquette, and some people lack that. So, I'm out of here. I done talked enough. I hope all is well. I need to get rest. I went to go get me some Krispy Kreme this morning. And believe it or not, I sat in my fucking truck to do this live. Because I didn't want to sit on this. I hope you can get good use of it. This message. I ain't gonna lie, man. Me seeing that interview it got me choked up, man. Me just trying to talk about it. It's so much other nuggets. This live can go too damn long when it's supposed to, I'm just gonna say it's a lot of heavy shit that she said. Y'all need to check it out. But it just inspired me to talk about, share. Not really, like I said, I ain't going into detail about certain things, but in retrospect, I understood where she was coming from. I just say that, and it led me and inspired me to speak on it in such a way where it needs to be addressed. So, oh yeah. So, yeah. I'm gonna get out of here, man. Y'all be good, be well. I'm gone. Love and love. Enjoy y'all Sunday day. I'm gonna try to enjoy mine before it's time for me to go to work. Get it. Stay blessed. I'm out. Love is love. Gone. Salute. We out.